Check it out. Primal Rage for Super Nintendo, mint in box. Well, mostly mint. If you caught my last video, you'll know all about my complicated affection for this game. I like it conceptually and aesthetically, but the actual act of playing it just isn't my thing. This is true both now and back in the 90s when the game was released. Thankfully, when I was 7 or 8, it was perfectly acceptable to play with toys. And you better believe it, Atari had my back. Look how awesome! And while this set is by no means complete or even particularly notable, these suckers aren't easy to come by these days. So even owning this many is a small miracle. With these, I didn't need the game. I could reenact the battle for Earth right here in my living room. And hey, if Godzilla showed up as a guest fighter, what's the harm? So let's break this down. The first figure I got was Talon, god of survival. He's a raptor if you didn't notice. Just look at the feathers on his head. He's totally rocking that hawk. These figures were made in a different time, perhaps less compromised by various oil crises. As a result, they're a lot sturdier than what you'll find in the toy stores today. They have good heft and texture, and just look at the detailed sculpting and finely applied paint. They're works of art, if you ask me, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were molded from the same armature puppets used to animate the game. But yeah, Talon's big gimmick is the claw swipe. Raise his arms up and bring him down to deliver massive pain. And if that's not enough, you can power him up with claw and feet attachments. I got this guy new and I kept all the parts, so this is the whole package. Oh, and he has a worshipper too. Num 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 num. At some point my Talon's hairdo here fell off, but I fixed him up with a bit of super glue. Good as new. And hey, I got another one. This was used. At first, I wondered why he was yellow, but now it's obvious. This repaint represents his alternate color scheme in the game. But don't confuse this with the whole Sauron/Diablo clone character situation. This is still just Talon, but it's what he looks like when he has to face himself. Next is Blizzard, the god of virtue. He's a Yeti, and based on his job title, he's one of the good guys, although he's not above eating the occasional worshipper. Think of him like Sub-Zero for Mortal Kombat meets King Kong. And hey, this figure has real hair, which is awesome, and really makes him stand out on the shelf. It also makes him a target for lice and bed bugs. So if you get an infestation, remember to thoroughly clean and shave your Blizzard figure. Anyway, the big feature on this figure is its waggling arms. Maybe it's supposed to be a Kong-esque chest-pounding action, or maybe he's just frustrated after losing a match in Primal Rage. And hey, here's Chaos, god of decay. He might look a bit different than you remember. That's because this is the alternate puke green color variant. Yeah, not preferable. In the game, his most defining ability is to release a toxic fart cloud, so it's probably good that they didn't go that route, and I'm glad he's not just a direct copy of the Blizzard toy. What Chaos does is drink water. Yeah, you can compress his chest to inhale the water and then press it again to squirt it. This is meant to represent his other ability, barfing. Chaos is kinda gross. I got these figures used, so I don't have any cool like doodads or accessories to show off. Like when I was a kid, the giant ape characters weren't a big priority. So at this point, I'm kinda lucky to have anything at all. Anytime you walk into a thrift store and you find something like this, that's a good day. Another used figure I have is an alternate color scheme Armadon. I remember finding him in a bin of wrestling toys in a comic book shop, which was pretty wild. Unfortunately, after spending the better part of an hour digging through an army of Hulk Hogans and Rowdy Roddy Pipers, I failed to find the spiked ball that shoots from his tail. But hey, at least I can still flex his back spikes. Here's Vertigo. She's a Cobra Voodoo Witch. This is one of the more out there designs since it's not just a dinosaur or an ape. She's super cool, and I like how comparatively thin and elegant she is. Her big feature, which I won't demonstrate because I understand the concept of mold, is that she can suck up water and shoot it out. Very similar to Chaos, in fact it's the same thing, except in this case it's used to simulate her acid saliva attack. Come to think of it, I have a Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus that does the same thing. I guess this was an easy gimmick to give a toy. Just make sure that part of its anatomy is a flexible rubber sack, and you're good to go. The last two figures are Sauron, God of Hunger, and Diablo, his fire-breathing nemesis. Sauron was another used find, so again, no bits and bobs. But Diablo I got fresh from the box the year of its release. He's got metal shoes, and of course his worshipper. Unfortunately, I can't find the little fireball piece that goes in his mouth. It was small, so it makes sense that it's missing. With both these figures, you pull their arms and their mouths open. Like so. But in Diablo's case, if he's locked and loaded, he'll shoot his projectile. Yeah, it'll go flying through the air. And probably end up under a couch or in a vent. Never to be seen again. Oh, and look here. Diablo took some battle damage. He's missing a toe claw. Sucks. In addition to this roster, there are also much harder to find toys based on the cancelled sequel, Primal Rage 2. Crazy, right? There's a saber-toothed tiger named Slashfang, and the skeletal final boss, Necrosan. I'll definitely buy these other figures if I ever find them for a decent price, but my real dream, pathetic as it may be, is to one day own something, anything, from the 12-inch Super Rage line. My memory is a bit foggy, but I only ever remember seeing these smaller figures in stores. Maybe it's because I live in Canada, but whatever the reason, the unavailability of these giant variants has propelled them into near mythic status in my head. I guess I could always just buy them online for whatever insane prices people are asking, but that's not really something I do. I got a daughter and bills, and you know how it is. But if I ever won the lottery, or received some massive inheritance, the first thing I would do is probably put some aside for post-secondary education. Textbooks, as you know, are not cheap. But right after that, and you can quote me on this, I got 5 words for you. 12-inch Super Rage Diablo.